Hi, good evening to all. Today's topic is all about what do you understand by the production? How does a production achieve the least cost combination factors? First of all, we look at the meaning of a production. Production refers to the process of converting inputs such as raw materials, labor, capital, and technology into finished goods or services that can be offered to customers in the marketplace. Production means that it's a process of converting the inputs into output. It may be in terms of the services too that can be offered to the end customers in the marketplace. Least cost combination factors are as follows. The first factor is determine isocons. Isocons are graphical representations of all the combinations of inputs that can produce a specific level of output. Producers need to understand their production function and the various input combinations required to achieve different levels of output. The first factor is to determine isocont. The producers need to understand the production function and the various combinations of the input to achieve the different levels of the output. Second factor is to identify the isocost line. The isocost line represents all the combination of inputs that can be purchased with a given budget or cost constraint. It shows the different cost options available to the producer for various input combinations. Next factor is to identify the isocost line, which represents the different combinations of inputs. The producer can be purchased with a given budget or in the cost control method. This line shows various cost options to the producer for various input combinations. Next factor, find the optimal input combination. The least cost combination occurs where the isocost line is a tangent, just touches to the higher attainable isocont. This point where the producer minimizes costs while producing the desired level of output. To achieve this optimal input combination, producers can use the following strategies. Next factor is to find the optimal input combination. The optimal input combination occurs where the isocont line is touches to the highest attainable isocont. In this touching point where the producer minimizes costs while producing the desired level of output. To achieve the optimal input combination, producers can use the following strategies. The first strategy is substitution of inputs. Analyze the marginal rate of technical substitutions. Shortly, it can be called as MRTS, which represents the rate at which one input can be substituted for another while keeping output constant. Compare the MRTS with the input prices to determine where inputs can be substituted to reduce costs. In this strategy, we have to analyze the marginal rate of the technical substitutions, which represents the rate at which one input can be substituted with another while keeping output constant. We need to compare the MRTs with these input prices to find out where inputs can be substituted to reduce costs. Next strategy is economies of scale. Consider the concept of economies of scale, which may lead to cost savings as production levels increase. In some cases, it may be more cost effective to scale up production by using more of one input rather than diversifying inputs. Producers must consider the concept of economies of scale, which may lead to cost savings as the level of the production increase. In some cases, it may be more cost effective to scale up production by using the one input rather than diversifying inputs. Technological improvements, it's an external strategy. Employ more than sufficient production technologies. Employ more than sufficient production technologies to reduce the quantity of inputs required to produce a given level of output. Continuous technological improvements can lead to cost savings over time. Producers need to improve the technological advancements to reduce the quantity of inputs for the requirements of producing given level of output. Producers need to keep continuously improvement their technologies, which can lead to cost savings over the time. Next strategy is input prices and negotiations. Be aware of input prices and negotiate with suppliers to secure favorable terms and reduce input costs. Producers need to be aware of input prices and negotiate with suppliers to get favorable terms and reduce input costs. Next strategy is specialization. Specializing in the production of certain goods or service allows producers to focus on optimizing the use of specific inputs, leading to cost savings. This is particularly relevant in industries where the skill specialization is a factor. Producers need to produce specialized products, which allows to focus on optimizing the use of the specific inputs, which may lead to cost savings. This function is applicable in industries where skill specialization is a factor. Next strategy is cost monitoring and analysis. Continuously monitor and analyze production costs, input usage and output levels. Implement cost control measures to ensure efficiency and identify areas where cost reduction is possible. Producers need to monitor and analyze production cost, input usage and output levels. For that, then they have to implement cost control measures to ensure efficiency and identify areas where we can reduce the cost. Next strategy is market conditions. Take into account market conditions including fluctuations in input prices and changes in consumer demand. Adjust input usage based on market conditions to minimize costs. The producers need to focus on market conditions including the fluctuations in input prices and changes in consumer demand. Need to adjust input usage based on market conditions to reduce the costs. Factor combinations. Experiment with different factor combinations such as labor and capital to determine the most cost-effective mix. This may require a trial and error to find the optimal combination. We need to producers need to experiment a lot of factor combinations such as labor and the capital to determine the most cost-effective mix. This may require the trial and error method to find the optimal combination. We will see you again with another session. Until then, stay tuned, stay blessed. Bye.